Have you ever struggled with thinking on your feet as a woman in leadership? Perhaps you've been in a meeting where you were called upon to answer a question or talk about a specific topic, and you just felt like, I don't know how to respond to this in a very quick manner. Well, this today is your lucky day. I'm going to share with you 3 strategies that will help you to think on your feet. Not only think on your feet, think on your feet like a boss. If this sounds like a topic that you would love to learn how to master as a woman in leadership, or perhaps you're in another role in leadership, then you absolutely want to stay till the end of this video. Why? Because I'm going to leave the best strategy as the last strategy. So you absolutely want to watch this video until the end. This is a topic I'm incredibly passionate about. I want you all to learn from my over 20 years of experience as a director, a C-suite executive, an executive coach, and a public speaker in different types of settings. So I've interacted on the news before, I've interacted with congressional leaders on the state and local level, and I've been in very friendly conversations and very contentious conversations. And I'm sharing with you today, friends, what you need to do if you're trying to think on your feet. Not like average think on your feet. Average thinking on your feet is for other channels. This channel, I'm going to help you become the person that thinks on your feet like a boss as a leader. And if it sounds interesting to you, then feel free to like this video and subscribe to the channel, because we talk about very much so advanced, I would say, communication strategies and techniques that will make you stand out from everyone else as a leader. So I welcome you to be here. Now, if you're watching this portion of the video, you are more than likely watching the replay. So welcome. Glad you're here with me today. Give me just a few moments, because this is a live video on YouTube. And what happens often is that there typically is a point in time where people start to join. I want to make sure I say hello to those individuals and interact with them. And then we'll go right into the 3 strategies that will absolutely help you to start learning how to think on your feet like a boss. This is one of those videos that you're going to get real strategies, real techniques, in real situations. This is what I talk about on my channel specifically. So if you're wanting to hear real strategies, real strategies you can use today, not tomorrow, today, then you absolutely want to stay tuned to this video. And you might want to get a pen and a paper for this one, friends, because this is going to be a good video for you. All right, so hello, everyone. Thank you for joining today. If you are ready to learn how to think on your feet like a boss, then you want to watch this live on YouTube right here, right now, because I'm going to share with you 3 strategies that will help you to not think on your feet as a normal person. This channel is not for average people. This channel is a channel for individuals who are trying to elevate, who are above average, meaning that you want to learn how to communicate like a boss. So you need to stay here on this channel. And let me know where you all are joining from in the big, beautiful world today. So we got Evie Carey. Hello, Evie. Welcome. Hope you are doing well today, friend. Melissa McLaughlin. Hello, Melissa. Welcome. Let me know where you all are joining from in the big, beautiful world today. Before we get started into how you can learn how to think on your feet like a boss. This is the video you absolutely are going to want to get a pen and paper and take down these notes. If you have ever, let me know in the comments below before I go into it. Have you ever struggled with thinking on your feet? Let me know in the comments below. Maybe you've been in a meeting, you didn't know what to say, you want to know how to think on your feet. I'm just curious to see if anyone else has struggled with it. I personally have struggled with it many years ago, and now I'm sharing with you the strategies that will help you. Okay, so Melissa McLaughlin says, I'm going to like and subscribe. Well, appreciate you, Melissa. Welcome to the group of exceptional leaders. I'm so glad that you're here. This is the place where if you are trying to elevate how you are communicating as a woman in leadership, this is the best channel for you to join. I go into a lot of detail on ways for you to articulate your value, communicate at a higher level than your peers, so that you are the leader that actually inspires and motivates other people and the person that stands out from everybody else. So if this sounds like something that is very interesting to you, I'm glad that you subscribe. Feel free to share it with anybody else who you think might want to go to that next level in their career journey. Okay, so let's go into how you can start thinking on your feet like a boss. So I have 3 strategies I want to share for you really briefly today. I do want to preface this by giving you some perspective, I would say. I've been in a C-suite role, a director and a manager for over 20 years now. And so I'm sharing with you the strategies that have helped me to think on my feet like a boss during that time period. Now, if you want to learn a little bit more about thinking under pressure, you should watch a live video I did earlier today. And I thank you all for the heart emojis. I appreciate you so much. There's a live video I did today. And the only reason I'm mentioning this is because this is an opportunity for you to see how I actually communicate in real time when it comes to thinking on your feet or thinking while you're under pressure. It's a live I record today. I had a very, very offensive comment that was made during the live. And so if you take a moment and take a look at what I did this morning, you will see in real time how I manage those very pressured situations and what my thought process was to handle this particular offensive person that was on my channel. So before I go into the strategies I want to share with you today, as it relates to thinking on your feet like a boss, feel free to subscribe to the channel if you like this information so far. We have Kenya, if I said your name incorrectly, I'm so sorry about that, friend. Kenya Hernandez, hello, welcome. Hope you're doing well today. And we have D-Dog. Hope you're doing well today. Welcome. This channel really is for individuals that are really trying to elevate themselves as leaders. So we talk about a lot of really serious topics. I'm here to help people be able to speak better, communicate better, negotiate higher salaries. So I take this, what I'm doing with my YouTube channel and my business, extremely seriously because I want you all to do very well. And so let me know where you're joining from in the big, beautiful world today. And let me know, have you ever struggled with thinking on your feet? I'm just curious. People have, but I wonder if you all have at some point. So the first strategy I want to share with you all today is the very, very first thing. And thank you for the heart emojis. I appreciate those. If you're trying to think on your feet like a boss, and as I mentioned, this is for the above average individuals. This is why you're watching this video, because you want to think on your feet like a boss, correct? The first strategy I want to share with you that will help you to think on your feet like a boss is that you have to be highly observant of what is going on in the room and what people are doing. You may be wondering, wait, I thought I'm thinking on my feet like a boss. However, this is the very first most important step. Let me explain to you why. Because if you are not able to really be very observant of what conversations are being had, meaning what is being said verbally and what is being not said, which would be your nonverbal gestures, people doing things with their body language. Maybe they're moving their head or they're showing a facial expression that is of disappointment or frustration. Then you will not know how to think on your feet. You will not know how to respond because you're not paying attention to everybody's body language. You're not paying attention to what's being said. You're not paying attention to what's not being said. So if you're really trying to think on your feet like a boss, and be that person that is communicating at a higher level than everybody else in the room, take a moment and observe everybody and see, is this the time for me to say something or should I just wait? So before I go into my second strategy, I want to say hello to Anthony. Welcome, friend. Hope you're doing well today. Let me know if y'all have struggled with thinking on your feet and what questions do you have about being able to do this? This is something that people ask me about, especially my one-on-one clients, women in leadership, that I work with. They ask me, well, how do I think on my feet? Well, if you want to learn more about this strategy and you're trying to think on your feet and you're trying to grasp this, being more quick-witted, as we say, then contact me for the strategy session in the description below. So the first strategy I mentioned to you is that you have to be very observant. You can't change your tone of voice. You can't change how you're communicating if you do not know what other people are thinking. This is how you start to learn how to read people, is by being very observant and paying attention to what they are doing and what they are not doing. That's the first strategy for you to think like a boss, because a boss is the person that's going to be able to have a conversation really, really quickly But you can't have a conversation quickly and know what you want to say if you don't have an idea as to what the other people may be thinking. Now, you may be saying, wow, this sounds fantastic. How do you do this? That's why you reach out to me for a strategy session below, and we'll talk about it. All right, so Selena Vega, hello, welcome, welcome. Selena Vega says, Miss November. Well, I appreciate you being here, friend. Let me know what part of the big, beautiful world you are joining from today. So we talked about the first strategy, which is to be very highly observant of what's going on to help you think like a boss. The second strategy I want to share with you is that you have to be in a position where you are able, and if you're not able to do this, this is a strategy that you want to definitely start to develop. You have to learn what to filter, what is really important and what's not important. And you have to do it very, very quickly. This is why this video is Think on Your Feet Like a Boss. Thinking on your feet means you are responding very fast to whatever the issue may be, the conversation, or etc. But if you're not able to filter out what's really important and what you can worry about later, then it's going to be very difficult for you to respond very quickly to whatever the situation may be. So let me share with you an example of this. So for instance, as I mentioned earlier today, I had a situation on my live where there was a very offensive comment that was made during my live. And it was a bit of a just really inappropriate comment that was being made. Now, I do want to say this is something that was concerning, I would say, particularly on the live. And so I had to be able to really monitor that and put it in a place where I had to really say something about it. So I want to mention to you all, just a second. Give me just one moment. Okay, sorry, I had another comment that was made that was really inappropriate. And so I had to take care of that really quickly. This has happened twice today. So I don't know what the odds are of people saying very offensive, mean things on lives. This is just what happens. I'm not going to repeat what was said. For those of you in the chat probably see it, but for those of you watching the replay, you probably do not. But what I will say that was just said was very offensive and very hateful speech that I definitely do not condone on my channel. And I think everyone, regardless of what ethnicity, race, religion, creed you're welcome, you're appreciated. I would never want to say that any particular religion is not welcomed, and that is what this comment alluded to. I will not say the comment because it's not really worth me saying live, but I just want you all to know that's the reason why I had to pause for just a moment, because they said something that was inappropriate, and I wanted to make sure that that is not impacting my live audience, to make sure they know that is my line in the sand. I don't tolerate that. I don't appreciate that. I respect everybody regardless of where you come from, regardless of your religion. We are all children of God here, and I don't think it's nice to say things like that. But nonetheless, that's just my very humble opinion. Now, as I mentioned, so we're talking a bit about placing yourself in a situation where you can filter out information quickly. So just like in this chat. So we're having chat. There's people that are dialoguing, interacting back and forth. You have to be in a situation where you're trying to think on your feet like a boss, where you can truly just see, this is what your vision should look like in terms of your glasses, your vision, what you see. You should be intently observing, as I mentioned before, what's being said, what's not being said, so you can pick up on cues that will require you to adjust your message, or maybe say something or maybe say nothing. When you're at the point where you're listening and you're getting information that's coming in as a leader, what happens is that you have to know what's important. And so it's almost like a filtering system, like you're filtering, and you say, whoa, this is important, I need to pay attention to this. Or you might be saying, that's not really important. And you keep filtering information. So for instance, what I was doing on the chat here, for those of you who are still watching, there's information that's coming in the chats that I'm able to see. However, when I see something that I pick up a meeting and says, that's inappropriate, I have to deal with that quickly. That is thinking on your feet like a boss. I'm showing you this in real time. If you look at my other video from earlier today, I did the same thing. I did it in a bit more of a strategy, so that's a really good video to watch. Not only because I showed you in real time how I literally do think under pressure, but just so you have an idea in terms of what my strategy and how my process can help you as you're thinking under pressure or you're dealing with situations or you're trying to think on your feet like a boss. But you have to know what's important and what's not important. Don't get caught up in things that are not very important. If it's not urgent, then you probably don't need to worry about it right now. But if it's something that catches your eye and you know it's very important, then that is what you need to talk about. And this is how you show that you're thinking on your feet like a boss, because you're listening to what is being said by other people and you are able to filter out what you really need to talk about or where you may need to just not say anything, or maybe you have a situation that was said where you know immediately you need to say something about this right now. This is how you think on your feet like a boss. So I've shared with you 2 strategies so far. As I mentioned in the video, I have 3, and the third is the best. So I'm saving the best for last. If you're still watching this video, I appreciate you being here. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. This is a great opportunity to share this with someone else that you may know that may be a woman in leadership, maybe a man in leadership that is trying to go to that next level in their career. This is a great opportunity for you to be able to share it with them, because these are strategies that people don't really talk about as much on YouTube. If they do, sometimes it's in a more of a philosophical sense in terms of be confident. You got to practice, be confident. On this channel, I'm going to share with you real things, real strategies, real techniques that will actually help you. I'm not going to give you the fluff. I'm not going to give you leadership models. I'm not going to tell you hypotheses and paragraph definitions of how to think on your feet like a boss. No, I'm going to share with you actual strategies that will help you to think on your feet like a boss, that will actually help you to communicate at a higher level than your peers, that will actually help you to be able to articulate your salary, and articulate your value so that you can go to that next level. Sorry, I think I just completely messed that up. Sorry, I have a headache today. Articulate your value so you can negotiate your salary. Now I have it correct. So I appreciate your patience with that. Now I want to go into the third strategy. Third strategy is the best strategy. Are you ready? This strategy is you need to always be ready. And when I mean be ready, I mean specifically be ready in the form of being either on offense or defense. Now, how many of you have ever played sports in your life? How many of you have played sports? Put it in the comments below. I have played sports in the past, and you have to be ready regardless of what's going on. You're either on offense or you're on defense. But as a leader, and when you're trying to think like a boss, you have to be ready for offense, defense like that. Very quickly. At any point in time in your conversation, your discussion, your meeting, your board meeting, your interview, the tone or a question may be brought to you that is either appropriate or maybe inappropriate, or there may be a comment that's said that is a friendly comment, or the comment may be borderline unfriendly and somebody's trying to test you. If you struggle with this or you struggle with office politics, then reach out to me for a strategy session in the description below. Be happy to have a conversation with you about where you are and how to get you to that next level and how you can manage and not feel so stressed out and defeated when you need to think on your feet and you just don't know how to do so. Definitely reach out to me for that. But you have to always be ready. You have to be ready. And this is why I share these 3 strategies. Now, I will tell you, there's a lot more strategies that go into thinking on your feet like a boss, but I wanted to give you my top 3 that will help you be able to get started in terms of how you can think on your feet like a boss. The third one, as I mentioned, you have to be ready. You have to be ready. The only way you can be ready is if you're listening to what's being said. That goes into the first strategy I mentioned to you in terms of being very observant, in terms of what's going on. So make sure you are listening. Make sure you are ready. You should be ready to go on offense, defense like that. At the drop of a dime, as we say here, you need to be ready to go on offense, defense, depending on what is said, and just be ready. You have to be ready. You can sit there and be polite and be all smiles and listen to a conversation. And if someone says something inappropriate, that smile should go fast. And that's how you think on your feet like a boss. When you are doing this, these are strategies not only to help you think on your feet like a boss, but they are actually going to help you with your executive presence as well. Now, if executive presence is something that you all have wanted to learn more about, I appreciate the heart emojis or the 100 emojis. Thank you so much. If executive presence is something that you want to learn more about, then I have a lot of videos here, free resources on my YouTube channel where I talk about executive presence. I have a lot more activity on my live tab here. That's where I spend a lot of my time for now. I do have a couple of pre-recorded videos about executive presence, but this is a great way for you to start developing it. You show yourself as an executive and that person that can adjust themselves depending on the conversation. So for those of you who have just joined, welcome. Glad you are so glad you're here today. We had a really interesting live, had to showcase being able to think on your feet like a boss twice today, as I mentioned. I don't know what's going on in the YouTube world, but on YouTube, for those of you who don't know, or maybe you don't have a channel on YouTube, believe it or not, it is a lot. And there's a lot that you have to navigate and a lot you have to manage. And these strategies I'm sharing with you, friend, they are going to help you think on your feet like a boss. I've had 2 situations today, YouTube-wise, where people have said some very offensive comments, and I've had to showcase 1, thinking under pressure this morning, and then 2, thinking on your feet like a boss. So these are 2 lives you definitely want to check out today and share them with some of your colleagues and your friends if they want to see in real action. How does this really happen? How does she really do this? I really do. This is how I live every single day. Now, I want to go into these 3 strategies. I mentioned those to you earlier. If you're just joining, definitely take a look at the replay. We go into these strategies in a bit more detail. But I want to highlight for those of you who are just joining, there are 3 strategies. There's a lot more strategies, but I shared with you the top 3, my top 3 strategies to help you think on your feet like a boss. Are you ready? Get a pen, get a paper, write these down. First strategy, the very first strategy is you have to be highly observant of the room, the conversations that are going on. You need to see what people are saying and what people are not saying with their body language to help you be able to develop those responses and be aware of when you may need to change your message a bit depending on what's being said. The second strategy is to make sure that you are in a position where you are learning as much as you can. You have to learn as much as you can to go to that next level. And one of the things that we talked about in this particular live is not only being able to think about being able to focus and observe on what's going on, but you have to have this filtering system. That's my second strategy for you. You have to learn, but you have to have this filtering system. You have to be able to determine what's important and what's not important. And you have to do that quickly, very fast. So if you have a lot of information that's coming at you as a leader and people are telling you this, they're telling you that, and you're hearing just a lot of things, you have to be able to know, okay, I'm hearing this, I'm hearing that, I'm hearing this, I'm hearing that, I'm hearing this. Wait, what? What was this? So you have to be able to know what's really important. And that is what you need to address quickly. And that's how you can showcase that you're thinking on your feet like a boss. Then the third and final strategy I shared with you is the most important one. And this is the one you want to write down. You need to always be ready to be either on offense or be on defense, depending on the conversation. As I mentioned, I talked a little bit more about this in the live. For those of you who are just joined, welcome. Glad you're here today. I talked a bit more about this in the live. You have to be ready to go on offense and defense any point in time in a conversation because the tone of the conversation can change like that, ladies and gentlemen. It can change very, very quickly, and you want to make sure that you are ready for whichever way this conversation goes. This is how you think on your feet like a boss. A lot of people on YouTube are not breaking it down to this level of detail, but this is what I do on my channel. I live this for over 20 years. I live this every single day, and this is what I want you all to master because I want you all to be those leaders that people are looking up to and say, wow, she's amazing. She does so well under pressure, or he does so well under pressure. all of that. So I hope this information is helpful to you. I do want to share with you, if you are a woman in leadership, you are at the right place, because I'm sharing with you knowledge that will help you. If you're a man in leadership, you're at the right place. Even though I'm in a position where, in terms of my one-on-one clients I work with are women in leadership. If you're a man in leadership that is watching this channel, I appreciate you being here, because I know that you want to communicate at a higher level than your peers. And I appreciate your support and being engaged in the channel and trying to learn as much as you can. Let me know what you all want to learn about. Put it in the comments below. I will absolutely do a video just for you and give you a shout out in the video, if you'd like for me to, on any topic as it relates to leadership, communication, life as a woman in leadership. Or maybe if you're a man in leadership, you're just trying to maybe negotiate a higher salary, you're trying to elevate yourself. So just know that I'm here to support all of you. I know many of you are at different phases of your career, and whether you're in my target audience of women in leadership or you're not in my target audience, I'm just glad that you're here, friends. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you spent a few moments out of your day with me, and I'm really excited to be able to support you as you are communicating at a higher level than your peers. I guarantee you, in this channel, you're going to learn some strategies that you probably haven't thought about, or have not been shared with you, in terms of how to make you stand out as a leader. So I'm looking forward to seeing you all in the next live. As I mentioned, check out my live video earlier today about handling yourself under pressure. That is a really good live for you to actually see that in real time. There's several videos on my channel that specifically talk about executive presence that will help you also. So just subscribe to the channel and just spend some time on my lives. You'll learn a lot, and let me know if you have any questions so I can help you go to that next level and communicate at a higher level than all your peers. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye for now.